Hello and welcome to Pacific Crest Creatives and Cle Elum's first ever snow day for the year of 2020. I'm here with Charity from Pacific Crest Creatives. Why don't you introduce yourself really quick and then we'll get into a quick tour of this amazing creative space.
Thanks. Well, hi, I'm Charity Wanechek. I am one of the owners of Pacific Crest Creatives. I partnered up with local businessman Travis Harris to bring this space to reality, out of my dreams and into reality. And I've curated this space and we have lots of exciting things we'll be rolling out with shortly.
Yeah, and this kind of originated from your original business, Ghost Town Metalworks. Now you feature a ton of different artists in this beautiful, multifaceted space. Can you quickly give us a brief storyline of how that played out?
Sure. So 3.5 years ago, I made the decision to start goldsmithing and make jewelry. And when I sat down to do my business model, I decided for fun, we'll do now and then long term. So for long term, I went ahead and decided it would be cool to encompass all of my things of loving art. I myself have been an artist since I was a little kid. I minored in art from Whitworth University over in Spokane and loved lots of different mediums. So my dream was to eventually move a successful online jewelry business into a brick and mortar space in downtown Cle Elum. I have a local curated front art gallery that's full of local artists, that's a little bit eclectic and a little bit off the beaten path.
Yes.
And then be able to move my studio here and be able to teach classes. So lo and behold, 3.5 years later, here we are. All right, everyone, this is getting peeled off. Madison and I are gonna keep 6 feet apart. Welcome, Pacific Crest Creatives. I wanted to kind of walk you through so you can understand what the space is about. Like we've mentioned, all the artists here are from the Northwest. It's a curated space, so it's eclectic. Anyone that's in the same medium has a bit of a different aesthetic, so there isn't any overlap. Everyone that's in here went through a pretty extensive application process to get in here. And after it being accepted, they were given the option to do some sort of outreach, which is from a list of approved nonprofits that we extensively researched, about 20 of them. So every artist that has been accepted into the space has opted to go ahead and go for this. Each artist picked one nonprofit from the list to donate 2.5% of their sales. Every time they make that sale, we, Pacific Crest Creatives, match that 2.5% donation to create a 5% donation to their nonprofit of choice. So our goal here is that with every sale that we make, that you're literally making a difference, not only to the artists that you were paying for their art that they created with their mind and then their hands, but also to an organization to do better good. Have a look around. We have all kinds of art in here. We do sell jewelry, but also we have really cool, I'm calling it textile art, but really cool one-of-a-kind clothing made by another local, wonderful wall hangings, sculptures, and the list just goes on and on. So we're open on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for people to come look at the gallery. The rest of the space will be opening up, and this is where we will actually be teaching classes for adults and teens. This space is still getting rolled out a little bit, but we'll be moving more tables in here kind of as needed. We'll clean up the space in between doing classes. We won't have tables out all of the time, but we'll have additional tables and seating out. This will be the teaching area. This is my space. This is where I work. This is where I create jewelry. I'm mostly a custom artist, but I'm in the process of kind of transitioning over to more 50% inventory and 50% commissioned work. But this is where I work. This is where I create jewelry. And eventually I will actually be teaching classes on how to create jewelry. So metalsmithing classes will also be a big part of Pacific Crest Creatives. We also have a kids space. So the awesome idea for this space is that this is going to be utilized for childcare for particular classes. If mom or dad or the caregiver need to take a break and it's a class that's available to have childcare, junior could be upstairs playing. We'll also be offering family classes so that our younger artists can be up here doing one thing and parents and teens can be downstairs doing something else. So this is a multi-purpose room. We're also getting ready to set up a little movie nook back there. The ceiling is a little bit lower. This is an older building, so it does have a 6-foot ceiling. So some parents may not want to hang out here too long, but that's why it's also the kids' space. One other super exciting aspect of our business is that we're actually going to be offering professional art supplies. Currently, there's nowhere else in Kittitas County that offers an extensive supply of art supplies. There's one place in Ellensburg that offers some more of the bare bones things that are more catered toward the Central Washington students. But aside from that, there's nowhere to buy professional grade art supplies. So we'll be filling that niche by offering acrylic, watercolor, oil, charcoal, carving clay, and beyond that, even more, eventually when I start teaching metalsmithing classes, we'll actually be doing metalsmithing supply here as well, including tools and equipment. So this space will be continued to roll out as far as retail for those things too. If you come here and you take a class and you totally fall in love with it, you could literally come in the back, pick up a starter kit to buy on your way out and be able to go home and continue on with it. Along with catering to the artists in our community, along with having products here that they can purchase, continue on their art at home, we have our pretty eclectic space in the front that's curated, is a little bit funky. We also want to be able to spotlight those local artists that are super talented and tend to stick to more of the traditional mediums and subjects and styles. So this back space, and going back further, since our building goes on quite a ways into the upstairs, the children's area, we are actually getting more gallery lighting put in so that we can do rotating theme shows in the back of the space. So we're really looking forward to that, to give our chance for anyone that does more of the traditional arts to be able to get their foot in the door with PCC, be able to come down and see their art hanging on the wall, or a friend or family, loved one, art hanging on the wall, and be able to be part of this community. We're really looking forward to it. We'll probably be putting a call for art out in December for winter landscapes to come in, so just throwing that out there to bear in mind. We do allow online submissions first. If someone doesn't live locally enough to submit their painting or whatever medium in person, they can actually enter the process online with pictures of their art, and if it's accepted, we can actually work out them mailing it in and still being able to be a spotlight in our show.
How can they support you on your website and virtually if they're unable to actually come in person? How can they support you and all of the artists represented here?
Follow us. We have accounts on Instagram, that's our most active one. Facebook comes in second, and then Twitter comes in third. So we show all of our artists on there, showcase them, let people know when classes are coming up. We keep our stories pretty updated so you can see as new inventories coming in or if we're taking on new artists. But you can also go to our website, which will allow you to subscribe to our email list, which will allow us to still be able to reach you regardless of whatever the social media algorithm is feeling like doing. And that'll allow us to let you know if we have classes opening up. But we also have an online store. So if you see something that you know that you can't live without, should be hitting the online store within reason. Some of these items will not be able to be listed except for local pickup just due to the size of them, the weight, the dimensions, all of those things as far as our sculptures go. But yeah, so we can actually mail out, we can ship worldwide, so anybody anywhere can be a participant and a supporter of Pacific Crest Creatives.
Yes, you have an actual online e-commerce store, so folks, you can purchase jewelry, handcrafted, smaller items, and have that shipped right to your door if you feel like staying at home. That said, the space here is very safe. Do you want to kind of talk about some of the precautions that you have around COVID right now?
Sure. So we have the space is very airy. If you notice, we don't really have it crammed tightly with inventory. That is intentional for a couple of reasons. Number one, we don't want people to be visually overwhelmed when they come in. But number two, we can actually have quite a few people in here and they're still able to socially distance easily. We have hand sanitizer right at the door when you walk in. We have masks available for those that may have forgotten them. We also have masks for purchase made by a local artist. So we are very careful about that. As far as classes go, we do adhere to COVID-19 current regulations with spacing and masks and hand sanitizing and all of that. We also offer private classes for those who are home quarantined or high risk. We can potentially be able to accommodate a class that would be during a time that the gallery is not open and actually would not be open to the public for access. So we have lots of ways to kind of roll in COVID-19 regulation safety into our business model.
So if people are downtown, how can they get here and where can they find you online?
Sure. So if you're downtown, we are 209 East 1st Street. We are next to 509 Bakehouse. I can send you any treats on the weekend. And actually, our days that we're open operation are very similar. Friday, Saturday, Sunday operation. Warriors Inn, great place to go. Even if you're a grown-up, go play some old school Nintendo and drink a beer. Yeah. Next to a really cool antique mall right across the street from Orchard Restaurant. If you are waiting for your reservation, have a few minutes to kill, we're right across the street. Also by Glondo's
Sausage Company, nice.
And then as far as online, you can find us at PacificCrestCreatives.com, Instagram at Pacific Crest Creatives, same for Facebook and for Twitter.
Well, thank you so much again for joining me today and for creating this beautiful creative space for locals and travelers alike.
Thank you.